Hello, I'm Jason Kelly. Thank you for joining me. In this video, I will look at whether investors should see any distinction between fake news and useless news. Ever since Donald Trump's election, there has been an obsession with fake news, as exemplified by this story from Politico about Facebook. And I'll put it up on your screen in a second here. The headline reads, "Facebook partners with French media to fight fake news." The subhead, the project is similar to the one launched in the US in December. Down below the highlight there, you can see it says, "Fake news considered by some to have played a role in swaying the US presidential election in Donald Trump's favor." Now, obviously, factually incorrect news is going to be misleading and is not going to be useful to anybody. But what is the difference between news that is factually incorrect and news that might be correct but is still useless or irrelevant to investors? The truth is, investors have been dealing with useless but possibly factually correct news much longer than this new trend against fake news has existed. A pundit's honestly held belief about the future of the stock market is not fake. He probably really feels that. She might think the market really is going higher, or he might think the market really is going to crash. But it's useless because these views are completely unreliable. Even news that's not an opinion, it might be objective information that's being reported in media, but we might not know what to do with that information. So that also just becomes noise, even though it's not factually wrong or even intentionally misleading. It's just, so what? There's so much news in that category. And that's actually the main category I've been fighting back against my entire investing career, to have created the signal system that ignores all of it. Now let's consider this May 19th, 2016 installment from The Economist's Free Exchange blog. This is the top of it here, and I'll put it up on your screen in a second. From the Free Exchange blog at The Economist, the date May 19th, 2016. Okay, so last May. The tag above the headline reads, "The Fed ruins summer." Then the headline, "America's central bank picks a poor time to get hawkish." There's the federal chairwoman Janet Yellen in the middle. You can see down below it says the members of the Federal Reserve's Monetary Policy Making Committee have been desperate to hike rates, often for most of the past year. And it goes down looking at how they expected to do so. But markets spent the first 2 months of the year in a near panic, and here we are in mid-May with just the one December rise behind us. What are we supposed to do with that information? We knew the Fed wanted to hike rates, couldn't hike rates, apparently still wants to hike rates, but still hasn't been able to hike rates. Do you get the so what? What am I supposed to do with that? Sell stocks, buy stocks, sell bonds, buy bonds? What am I supposed to do? The Fed doesn't know what it can do next. I certainly don't know what the Fed can do next if the Fed itself doesn't know what it can do next. What am I supposed to do as an investor with my money based on this information? To further show how useless it is, even though it's not fake or intentionally misleading, just irrelevant to the purpose of portfolio management, now let's jump ahead. The next evidence I'll show you is from the Huffington Post on June 15th, 2016, so just 1 month later. And here's what that story looked like. I'll put that up on your screen. Headline, "The Federal Reserve leaves key interest rate unchanged amid slower job growth." And then the first part of the story here. "The Federal Reserve announced on Wednesday that it will keep its benchmark interest rate at current levels in response to lackluster job creation in recent months and other discouraging economic data. The decision will shield American consumers from higher borrowing costs, but it also," here's the highlight, "reflects the fragility and unpredictability of the current economic recovery." Okay, so the first story was pointing us toward being worried that the Fed was going to hike rates. That was why we were supposed to be worried. We don't know what we're supposed to do with that worry, but that was the implication, right? The Fed wants to raise rates, but it can't, but it really wants to, and it will probably be able to do so any time now. That's why the Fed ruins summer by planning to raise rates. And now in this story, the Fed couldn't raise rates because the economy is too fragile. So again, we seem to be getting warned away from something, but it's not clear what. and it's not really clear why. Now, in retrospect, since this was ahead of last summer, we know there was nothing to be afraid of. Bonds were fine, and stocks positively shot the moon after these news stories. What was the best thing to do with this news? Ignore it. Ignore it. Stop caring what the Fed's going to do, when the Fed's going to do it. And this is just one example. This is just one instance of non-fake, non-intentionally misleading news that was utterly irrelevant and pointless for investors to know. There's nothing fake about it. There's nothing fake about reporting earnings. There's nothing misleading about the price of gold. There's nothing wrong with knowing the price of oil, this kind of thing. Nobody's being nefarious in reporting these. It's just incumbent upon you and me as investors to realize might be legitimate news, but utterly irrelevant to us for portfolio planning purposes. I can't emphasize enough, the signal system that I run ignores all news. Just looks at prices, reacts rationally to those prices, which is all you can rely on quarter after quarter after quarter. So once again, please get yourself on the signal system and stop ignoring all news, fake, misleading, legitimate, or otherwise, because it is utterly irrelevant to your portfolio management. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like it here on YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you'd like to receive more videos from me, just like this one. Kelly Letter subscribers, I will see you on Sunday. Everybody else, have a great weekend. Thank you for watching.